Righty, let's open my presentation. So since we've discovered that Armageddon won't exist, I'm ready here to tell you all the other way that you can die on the Earth with disasters. There we are. There are several of them. And that's my job, try to understand how we behave during disaster and how we can train people using new technology and let them survive. So let's see about a bit what we have done so far using this new technology. Before starting, I want to tell you a bit of, give you a bit of definition about what is virtual reality, what is augmented reality, because there is a bit of confusion around. And let's start saying that we have two extreme reality, what we perceive nowadays. And then we have virtuality, that is basically something that is completely digital. And we are quite familiar with it because we have been playing video games quite a lot in our childhood, or we have been visualizing video games through other people. Mixed reality is something that is in between of those. And augmented reality is just an instance of this mixed reality experience. And it's when we combine reality and some element of virtuality. I chose a Pokemon because, come on, I guess all of you have been playing with Pokemon Go, and it's the easiest way to explain. So when we mix these things together, there we are, we have augmented reality. And with my research, I've been doing a lot of things with virtual reality, and I'm trying to convince my boss to give me money to do augmented reality stuff. That's why I like academia. You can buy a lot of stuff for free. I mean, someone else is paying for it, and you play with it. So why do I love technology and virtual reality? This is the first things. You can prove that your mother is wrong. Brilliant. I've been spending so many time hearing this kind of complaint, and now I can say, Mom, you were wrong. No, let's talk about serious stuff. Why do we use virtual reality? We have been starting using virtual reality a while ago, a few years ago, and I started being involved in this kind of project during my PhD when I was in Sweden. Nice weather. In winter? No. And basically we were putting people in this system that is called cave. So we are bringing back cavemans. And what is happening here? We project virtual reality scene in all the walls that we have here, and we have people wearing 3D glasses, the same that you wear when you go and watch 3D movie. And what happens is that in an instant you are immersed in a new scene, in a new environment. You can perceive yourself, and you can see a lot of new things that you have been developing. So in this case, in this project, we were trying to identify a different system to put in a far tunnel and try to understand which exit was the best in terms of layout to be recognized by people during an emergency. So we put different people, almost 100 people in this cave, and we were asking them to rate different systems, and we managed to discover which one was the best to put in place with zero cost in the sense that we didn't have to manufacture anything. It was everything digital, and before providing suggestion, we did this experiment, and so provide information to the industry to build something that would have been eventually worked. Another nice idea that we work, it was connected with the idea to have smart buildings. And for the future, we envisage to have a smart building that is capable to identify the location of a disaster, like a fire, and tell you to go towards a specific exit. In this case, probably we can't because we have just an exit, but there are several buildings in which you have multiple ways to get out of the building. And in some disaster, we have been having people dying because they were going towards the wrong exit. So we need now, in this kind of futuristic building, to identify which system is the best way, which signal is the best way to tell people, don't open that door. So we did, also in this case, some VR experience and try to ask, in this case, 50 people to rank this different exit layout. And also in this case, we were managing, before even to manufacture anything, to identify which layout was the best. Probably this one wouldn't work in US. If you have been in US, you know that this is the standard to say, use this exit. So we managed to discover which one was the best. Something that I've been playing then since I arrived here in New Zealand, they gave me the position as a lecturer. That means you can start doing whatever you want. Yes. So what I did is to start playing with all the toys that I found already there at Massey University. We had this fancy, expensive laser scanner that cost $100,000. It was like, probably can't be able to hold it. It's so expensive. And I said to the student, OK, you use it then. So what we did is to do a 3D scanning of the building where we are actually staying. The construction group is actually staying. And I start telling them, let's try to see if we put different kind of exit sign, if we start putting the exit sign system that we have in the flights in our building. Shall we try to understand if we can improve the use of exit in case of emergency? So they spent a couple of weeks, and after a while, they came out with this simulation. And basically, they managed to use the 3D scanning of the building, create a 3D environment. And you can see here that they managed to put some virtual exit, some lighting that were guiding you to the closest exit. It was really excited. We tested with people. Great failure. That's why we do research. We basically managed to publish 10%. The other 90% are failure. Some other are even worse than failure. So we managed to start from something, and we managed at least to see that those systems were capable to be recognized by the people. In fact, they were saying that I felt much more comfortable, although I wasn't following the structure. So we managed to reach 50% of the goal. So for the future year, I'm going to ask other students to investigate other solutions that can push people towards the closest exit. But it was a good start. Actually, I arrived here in New Zealand because I was headhunted. I was still in Sweden, enjoying the weather. And they were asking me to come at the University of Auckland to run a project, to be a postdoc in a project at the University of Auckland. And the goal in this project was to develop a virtual reality training tool to investigate what's the people behavior during earthquakes, and also to train those poor people. So what we did, we spent 1.5 years to develop a virtual reality experience in which you go inside the Auckland City Hospital and you reach a room and then bad things happen. If you want to see more, just Google my name and you will see the full video about this experience. But it was funny. We had a lot of budget in that experiment, and so we managed also to create a shaking platform, and we buy a nice toy from US called Butt Kicker, and actually we put it behind the platform, and whenever there was the earthquake, people could feel the shaking. And it was funny to be there and see people that were crouching on the chair. I mean, sometimes it was scary. I was scared they were jumping out of the chair, but they survived in reality as well. And so I decided to investigate if there were existing virtual reality applications to train people about how to use fire extinguisher. And I said, let's give it a try. Let's see if it's working. Let's see how much people can learn, how much people can remember after a while. So this is me in my office. It's basically my toy room where I have all these geeky things. And we convinced almost 50 people to try this fire extinguisher and try to teach them how to use a fire extinguisher. So they were spending like 5 minutes trying to figure it out. First of all VR works, all the joysticks works and stuff like that. But then most of them, they managed to learn. And we did it with students, we did it with my colleagues, we did it in the CBD, inviting people from different offices. And let's have a look at the results. So before they started, they had the possibility to get a score between 0 and 6. We can see that the situation was pretty bad. We did the training, and then we collect the same data. And you can see that most of the people learned. There were some of them that probably were drunk, but this is another story. Never do training with drunk people. And eventually we were asking ourselves, yes, of course, you have just finished something. Unless you're not one of those, you should remember something. So we did some tests after 3-4 weeks, and we say, They're still remembering something. We haven't wasted our time. But still, there is something that I wasn't really happy about it. So I asked my student that was helping me through this research, let's try to understand what went wrong. And basically, those are the 6 things they were rating for. We can see that basically, after the 3-4 weeks, there is a significant drop here. And basically, they were forgetting the name of the past maneuver. Who cares if you don't remember? And also to keep a safe distance from the fire. This is because in virtual reality, in our virtual reality experience, you didn't have any heat system. I really doubt that if there is a fire, you start feeling that it's getting hot, you're gonna keep walking towards the fire. But we can see that all the recommendations that are supposed to be used to use a fire extinguisher were still there. So it was a success. So we went to celebrate, and we are actually trying to publish this data. Future. My future will be in augmented reality. I've been playing a lot with virtual reality. I love it. There is still a lot of potential, but I'm trying to expand and investigate with virtual reality. And I start playing a lot using Vuforia. This is basically an application that I developed when I was at the beginning of my experience, tried to play a bit with the C# code and see if it was working and how much it was working. And I was really pleased when I was showing that video to some people and I said, basically that's a building that is existing in the US. They use it in California to train firefighters. I was involved in this crazy project to use virtual reality and augmented reality to train firefighters. And they did the scanning of this building, they sent me the model, and I managed to create this application in a couple of hours. And I was really pleased when I showed this video to a friend of mine and said, you did a 3D printing. That means that augmented reality, digital elements are getting so close to reality when we visualize them, they are becoming not that different from real things. Nowadays, at this stage, I'm still trying to push towards augmented reality, and what I managed to do is to buy another toy. It's here. It's a smartphone that is heating up because there is a light on. I don't know why. Yeah, it's a smartphone that is not responding to my commands, but this is another story, that is capable to do really advanced augmented reality things. And if you want, later I can show you why. It's capable to do scanning, and it's capable to recognize in real time the geometry around you and place a digital element in the space and create really. Sorry?
What is the phone?
I can't advertise. It's an Asus. And he was using the Tango project, the Tango sensor. And guess what? Tango was killed in March. It was so sad. But I believe that this kind of sensors basically is capable to do these things because he has an infrared sensor that is capable to understand the deepness. Apple did something similar, but they put the sensor on the wrong side to see your face. Probably they will understand that they need to put it also on the other way around. It's coming. But something that is going on in augmented reality, we have a lot of API that are out there and are helping a lot of developers like me to use smartphone, tablets to develop augmented reality things using AR Core and AR Kit. But they are a bit stupid, those applications, because they are based just on camera. And so they are, at this stage, just capable to recognize, most of the time, flat surface, and that's it. This smartphone is capable to recognize really complex geometry. So it was really sad for me to discover that they killed it. But something more is going to come. And using this kind of technology, you can start thinking that you can use smartphones to direct people towards the right exit. And this is an application developed by used to be a teenager, now he's a grown-up guy that is living in UK. We are in contact. And he managed to develop this application that is capable to direct you towards the closest exit. Really funny. The only things that I don't agree is to have a smartphone look at your smartphone when you're on the stairs. It can get a bit dangerous. But still, as a proof of concept, it's working. The future is here. And there are already devices that instead of using smartphone are capable to use glasses and lens to project you in front of you digital elements, holograms. It's not something that it doesn't exist. HoloLens has been there, out there, 2 years, probably 3 years. And the first times that I saw the advertisement of HoloLens, I looked at it and I said, my reaction was, this is bullshit. And then after 2 weeks, I was playing with the HoloLens in the lab, shooting at things, because the click is like that, and I was like an idiot. If someone was passing by and see me doing like that in the space, I was basically playing a game, but they didn't see the monster in front of me, but I was playing with that. So there are other devices. I need to advertise also other device. Meta 2, that is another augmented reality system that has a wider field of view. The only thing is that is plugged to a computer, so don't like it so much. Instead, HoloLens has the capability to run everything by himself. It's a computer that you wear. And another device that has get inside the market is Magic Leap. I haven't tried it yet, but I saw a lot of video, and I tried to convince my boss at least to buy 2 of them. Hopefully she will see the video and understand the point. So this research is not just me. There is a lot of people that have been helping me, and there are a lot of collaboration because I can't do everything by myself. So this is just a short list of all the people that have been helping me. And you see that most of them are students. Basically, a student that never been coding in their own life. They come with me and, sorry, man. Then they need to start coding and do VR and augmented reality things. Actually, it's not that bad, because most of them, they realize that developing this application, developing these new things is not that complex. Most of the time, you need just to write 10 lines of codes. The rest of the things that you need to do is drag and drop. Easy. Hopefully. So I would like to thank you for listening, and feel free to ask questions later on. And I'll be happy to answer and enroll you for Massey courses.